Every day we bring you the hottest music. Ultimate music mix.
You won't believe, I'm not something you will need. Yo, check this out, man.
It's some outrageous conversations.
Ek het nou amper iets gesê. So, are you saying Namibian men were not romantic?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Huh?
Yes.
Why? What are the values of Namibian men? Is there anything good about us?
Yeah, I'm stacking up.
She is striking a blank.
You know what?
Let's get to the real thing.
The Morning Mix on Informante Radio. The sound for a new age.
And that is definitely what it is. The Morning Mix on Informante Radio.
What do you want from me?
Guys, how do you start the morning arguing? You have not even said good morning. You have not greeted each other, greeted other people.
Nee, ek stel nie belang nie.
Julle begin net stry.
Ja. Au.
Maria, this is the trauma you have to walk into this morning.
Oh,
I'm traumatized.
what are you traumatized about?
They argue early in the morning. Even I don't even know what is going on.
Is hierdie wambo wat hier so staan?
Is it the Wambo? Is it the Ambaja?
Ben nou verskil. Is dit verskil?
Namibians, bro. You guys, you never cease to amaze me. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Morning Mix. It's actually great to be back in the studio. We took a little break yesterday.
Yeah,
I hope you guys didn't miss us too much. Also, Neville was not here the last 2 days of last week.
No.
Yes.
I mean, it was just the one day.
Thursday and Friday.
Oh, you guys were... Oh, yeah, Thursday and Friday.
Yes. Yeah. You forgot that Friday.
Why are you looking at me like that? It's a khan.
Wasn't he in the coast?
No.
He was supposed to go, apparently. Apparently, he didn't go. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I didn't go, my sister. I didn't go.
I would have sent you back to office.
No, I didn't
Yes.
go. I didn't go.
And that is, of course, the perfect segue to get us into this. One of the things that we definitely need to touch on this morning. We reported 5 cases over the past 6 days, which is incredible after going over 45 days without reporting a new case of COVID-19. And of course, the most problematic one, the one that everybody is talking about right now, is case number 21. It's Neville's cousin, the Texas. I'm saying the taxi driver, the truck driver. Like, I'm trying to understand this story, right? So this guy came into the country on what, the 11th, the 10th, the 11th?
Yes.
11th.
Okay. And then he went into quarantine when?
You're supposed to go into quarantine immediately upon arrival.
Yes.
So
To Doche.
Yeah. So he went... You need to remember, before this, we had already run a story about 2 truck drivers that left quarantine facilities. So it was this Namibian guy and then I think a Zambian. So they're supposed to stay in mandatory quarantine, because what happens is, once you're in quarantine, the first thing they do is they test you.
Yeah.
And then you stay there. You're supposed to stay there for 14 days. And then just before you leave, they test you again.
Yeah.
And then you're allowed to leave. So this guy got tested, and then they went out while they're supposed to be in quarantine. Of course, they were eventually traced down. I don't know if it's immediately or a few days later, and brought back to the quarantine facility where they've been now since this announcement. So it's not like the guy was in the community when this announcement came. He had been back, but the fact is, him and his colleague had left
the quarantine
facility. In fact, when they got them back, they took them to a different hospital. They put them to a clinic,
isolation unit.
Yes, where it's controlled, because obviously cannot trust them. And while they're there, that's when the positive cases come. My question is only, we saw in South Africa a guy that got charged with not attempted murder.
Culpable homicide.
Do we have culpable homicide? That would be
manslaughter.
Yeah, manslaughter. Yeah, exactly. In court, it should be a different name. But yeah, somebody that got charged for that charge, manslaughter. I'm just wondering why it's not applying here, because if you're gonna go out
Out of quarantine.
there should be repercussions.
Yeah.
But they, okay, I actually also sort of second that argument. It was irresponsible. It's quite selfish also. The one thing that I did pick up though when the news came from the councillor in Walvis Bay about the whereabouts of this person or where they have been, I've noticed that they were stopping at a lot of basically along the way, probably from the border, stopping in Khobabes, stop here in Bantuk, stop in Okanya. But you see, when we see trucks driving by here, they always have police escort. I thought that was the norm. These guys are being escorted from the border to wherever they're going to have to go offload. So we are basically leaving them to their own devices.
It seems like it.
Yeah, I understand, but also like, phew, imagine,
Seems
you
like
know
it.
how many trucks are coming in every day? You're
No,
going to give a
you-
police
they-
escort for all of them.
You take like six or five or six of them, yellow ray and a convoy with police car in
Exactly.
front and at the back. So they live in batches like that, because this is it's actually quite risky, especially the state that South Africa is in. With some people even saying, you know what, they have decided they're gonna let the curve reach its peak and start declining, because the community transmission is so rife. There's basically nothing they can do anymore. And we're just letting people drive through Namibia. Gaan kus toe, die ene gaan lei af in Bambuland, die ene gaan lei af waar. It's risky.
Which brings us to the next point of that devastating social media post on Walfish Bay. Who's that guy?
Ek ken nie, is julle wat? Is julle
Can
so
you guys, I think, can you guys give background? Who is that guy? You don't even know what you're talking about. Can you please unpack?
You know.
No.
You know.
Even if I know.
Yeah.
Don't assume everybody
your
knows.
viewers
No, everybody knows.
No, that is a very irresponsible thing to assume.
Your viewers
Just
don't
give
know,
the
yes.
background story.
Wait. Okay, there's this guy.
Yes.
Don Jallo.
Okay, don't shout in
In the microphone.
mic.
Don Jallo.
Now he's close.
He wrote a post yesterday, or could be over the weekend, that gives his idea of exactly what he thinks of Walfish Bay. If Walfish Bay was a person, it would be Judas. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that he.
Yes.
Listen.
And a lot of profanity
There's
also.
profanity in it. Walfish Bay has the highest rate of HIV infections in the country. Walfish Bay was the one that wanted Itula to lead the country. Walfish Bay is the town that gave our fishing quotas and eventually sold our fish to the sharks or fish rot for mahala. To make it worse, they were blaming the rest of the country for the incompetence. It is the first town to have an independent candidate as councillors. Remember when they freaked in bananas? Yo, this guy. Walfish is the only town that speaks an unknown language, a mixture of Oshivambo, Oshiherero, and Afrikaans combined. Then deep profanity, Dorpiki, is currently putting the country's health at risk by not being able to properly quarantine potential coronavirus patients. Yeah, and then there's some more profanity in there. So,
You see that that is actually very ignorant. I'm
you know,
Was
we laughed about it in hindsight, but you know what?
it is quite ignorant. You know, such things make you understand why government sort of refuses to give people's names out, especially the people who have contracted the virus. I mean, imagine if that is the reaction towards a whole town. You know how many people live in Walfish Bay? Calling that
Yeah.
entire population illiterate,
Yeah.
calling them queryrig. It's so small-minded, so narrow-minded. Ek kan nie glo in this day and age there are still grown Namibians who think like that.
I saw an MTC sponsored advert on the news about 2 nights ago, where this one guy, and it's the first Namibian that I see that goes on record by saying, or that who admits that he.
Oh, the student.
Yeah, the student.
Yeah,
it's
been-
the first time that I see somebody
been playing
basically
for a while,
openly
yeah.
admits of his or her status, and it was quite commendable. I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now imagine here, MTC has to sponsor these things. If you it's just weird because look, if you see everywhere else in the world, right? People are going on their own social medias and saying, okay, no, this is me. This is how I might have gotten the virus like this or like what. This is how I'm doing. I'm in isolation. What. Yes, sir. We're treating coronavirus like HIV/AIDS with so much stigma.
Yeah.
Maria, where are you?
I'm actually, you know what I realized when that Don Jalo post was shared.
Huh? Was it gelach, yeah?
Why do you laugh at things?
No, as serious as it is, there is some...
The stupidity of him made us laugh.
The stupidity of it, there is some
Was
laughable...
Shines? They laughed. That was my initial. I'm like, what's so funny?
I laughed.
Yes, I know you did.
I laughed because...
I didn't.
Because
No, you didn't.
because the writing style of it, yes, even though there's a lot of insulting things in it, the writing style is obviously, it's funny. Or I see it funny, but then there's a seriousness to it, to what he's saying, which is not so funny. So yeah, life is not always serious and not always funny.
Okay, come, don't be
Yeah.
dramatic. Nobody's saying like we don't laugh. But
Yeah.
Is it not that we choose what to laugh at? And I
Exactly.
think this is my point. It's like this guy puts out stuff like this on Facebook, and the reason he can, and the reason like it goes popular is because like nobody really, like people don't correct, like the first instinct is to laugh.
Nobody
Like,
put him in check. Yeah.
Yes, nobody's putting anybody in check because of these things, and it's like at some point we have to be like, what is not funny and what is problematic should be corrected. Period. Point. Nothing. It's not a laughing matter.
Yeah.
And if you go to that guy's post, that thing had a lot of kikis and ha-has and whatever, and it's such a problematic post. But of course, that gives him the impression that what he's saying is okay to say.
They agree with me. That's why they're laughing.
Even Shines that shared it. Shine shared it with a laughing emoji.
Shines, you were wrong. You can't send stuff like that. If Maria sees it, it's
No,
a
it's not
problem.
the problem sending it. It's the fact that we are laughing at it. Is the point I'm trying to say. Like, what about, like, even now listening to you read it, I'm like, what about that was actually funny?
No, so like he was even accusing Walvis Bay of refusing to join Namibia after
Yes,
independence.
he said that.
Yeah.
It's like, and if we don't want you guys can leave us, we don't want you anyway. And
No, we don't want your illiterate population, man. you know that is one of the backbones of our economy. That little fishing town right there.
Namibia wouldn't
Yes.
survive without water. Let's just be very, very clear.
It's ignorance. It's like the ones who are saying apparently people are coming over the Orange River and taking a boat to Walfish Bay. Do you know where
The
the Orange
distance.
River...
The distance. Huh?
It's people just wanting to... what do they call it? Cloud chasers. Yes, just want some attention on social media.
always
Let
when
me
they're
get a
not-
couple of likes or a couple of comments and shares.
It's always when they're not well traveled.
Hey, leave my people.
And how you talking about the Orange River? I've never been there.
Come on. No wonder you don't know where it is. You've never been there. Okay, all right, let's welcome some of our guests in. I see some of the earlier comments have already disappeared from my screen because they are coming in thick and fast. So if I don't read yours,
You skip the good mornings.
don't be mad at me. The first one says, good morning. Neville, you look like Mike Tyson this morning. I want you to take on Mandela Kapere in the ring.
Ooh, ek sal vir Mandela met 'n triespieël. Hy
Why didn't you go box Sobiso? You was bang, ne?
Nee,
You would
ek was
have been
bang.
given a job.
Nee, job is vast.
I saw for Josie Jones gekry.
So just you'd have been okay.
Josie is a strong guy.
Actually, was he not knocked out?
No.
He fought Theo, ne?
Yeah, but he won his fight. It was a points. It was a points decision.
We forgot to ask him about that when he was in the studio. I only remembered when he was standing there in reception. I'm like, damn it.
As his official, unofficial girlfriend, I should have been the one to bring it up.
Maria, we just before you continue, Cubase. You know what we were just speculating this morning. You know what we were talking about a certain someone, a radio presenter who had an affair with his co-presenter.
Pratina.
Wait, what?
Nee, sien jou besigheid nie.
Me, I'm radio presenter.
Oh, but we're not talking about you. Or
Oh,
do you
no.
want to be? Do you want to role play?
No, first let me hear the story.
Yeah. this guy and this girl had a relationship, and they're obviously co-presenters on this radio program. Yeah, in Namibia.
Aye, that happens everywhere. All the
And
time.
then the relationship went sour.
Blossom. Oh, it was. Oh.
It went
It
completely
always goes
sour.
south. Always.
So the chemistry on air
Yeah, it's
just
really bad,
went
man.
south.
Yeah.
So seriously, I'm just saying, Mariana, if there were any ideas or intentions, Carlos, let the story lost.
No, I'm not radio presenter. I don't want to be.
Maria, it will not work out because 6 months down the line, we'll moor each other here.
Come in. Neville making jokes. Maria said in cake on net.
Yeah.
Like every second, and you're still trying to figure it out and keep the stuff together.
Yeah.
And it always came. Yeah, and men. And always creeps into every conversation. Talking about coronavirus at Wildfish Bay. Yeah, some men were supposed to take people to Wildfish Bay. And they cancelled.
I guess.
And now I want the names. Now I want the names so I can go and tune in the morning show. I want to see if the chemistry is really lost.
Guys, please don't get romantically involved
If you work together.
with fellow employees.
Yes.
Oops. Oh, oops. Oh, hey,
Come on.
you know what I'm saying?
Come. You can.
Yeah, please.
You can get involved, just not romantically. Just mutually beneficial. Anyway, let's read comments, man.
Never.
So will not start with this so.
This thing will, this will be a catalyst.
We've
of
had our
new-
fair share. We've had our fair share of dramas here at Trasco.
Yeah.
With the colleagues dating each other.
There's been many rumors going
Yes.
on.
Imagine we're sitting in the show and Inga just walks in here, or Paula.
I'm Mukurwanji.
It's like, yeah, jy sê mos jy werk, maar as jy heeltyd besig met hy.
Has there ever been a rumor about you dating someone here at Trasco?
No.
You, Maria?
Hell no.
Hell no. Okay.
You
See
will.
my flavors.
We don't even need to ask, ne?
But it's all lies.
We didn't even ask the question, you already answered it.
Lies.
Come on.
Lies. Lies. Lies.
It's like, I did
And
not have
come
sexual
right-
relations
why are
with
you
that
turning
woman.
your chair? For what?
Because I was studying that when we went to the what's his name? Les Jacobs show.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ek het 'n bietjie vibe hier gekry daar by die ander mense wat daar was. Just be honest.
Maria, I'm telling you, for as long as I've been here at Trasco, and I'm saying it on record, I've never had an affair with any colleague.
Okay.
Ek
hold
speel
on,
nie
hold-
die grappe nie.
I saw that
Hy
person.
kom uit.
I saw that person tuning into the stream this
Hy-
morning.
hy-
Asseblief toch, stuur net vir ons die send me the screenshot that you showed me. The message that you showed me, just screenshot this, send it to me, Asseblief. Let's shut this topic up quickly.
Can we read comments? Okay, can we read the comments?
Moving on, alright.
Can you just be a presenter and just do your job? and-
Tila Cheli,
Yeah.
yeah, Stephanus. All right, this is actually a sentiment that's out there. Let's go back to stage one. What do you guys think? Should we be tightening up restrictions once again, or are we still on the right path heading into our reopening?
Yeah, I think they have to really look at the strategy. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't think we should go back to complete lockdown again. Maybe lockdown Erongo. But then again, if the guy was stopping town to town, maybe lockdown all the regions.
Or should
I
Jupai and
think they
Commerce as
I
well?
definitely think they should stop allowing people to move in the country. I think all the regions should be on lockdown.
So we can only move around Commerce.
Yeah, like if
Yes,
you're in
yes.
Commerce,
What
you
is
only
in
move
Commerce
around.
that we can go see?
What is anyway? Right now, that's next.
Ek wil net Tosha do.
Nee, ek wil travel.
You stay within your
The
region.
prices are so nice. Anyway.
I have a voucher.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
do you.
Yes, I know.
So anyway, you can I think lock down the regions. Like let the truck drivers drive past. Who needs to? Whoever the emergency services travel where they need to travel to. Lockdown. I don't think it's fair to say like people should go back completely at home. You know. But yeah, it's concerning because I think for us and the concern with I think most people when this story came out and with the fear of like the community spread is that we know where truck drivers usually live, and it is in townships.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
And hang out
Yeah,
also.
it's quite very different. And if somebody say they made a comparison to the other boy that arrived from South Africa and he went out for a stroll and his results came back. It's very different when it's like a privileged town person where you can still have
socially distanced.
So it's like the concern is usually not. I mean, you're worried, but you're not as worried because it's like, it's a town boy. If he's moved around, it would be within the town. He wouldn't have gone to the township anyway. And we can kind of, mitigate the situation.
Yeah.
In townships, it's like people don't have the luxury of social
Instead of
distancing and quarantining in their houses because we have like 10 or 12 other people living in the same household. So the spread is and we've seen it like in South Africa as well. Once it hits the township, the numbers just
It's chaos.
it's chaos. It's chaotic.
Mm,
It's
of course.
understandably. So.
There is a difference between sitting in a corner booth at Pharaoh's and sitting at Dibo Kawash. The amount of people that you come into contact with. Yeah, it differs. So, Neba, what do you think? You think we should lock down, or you think we're cool?
Phew. It remains to be seen now what will be happening now this week. Like you do say that we had a surge of cases now for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And yes, people are always accusing Agaba of copying exactly what South Africa is doing. It's difficult to say. We need to see how this pans out.
How it develops.
And this is another element here a lot of people don't consider, and is health is first. We know that.
Yes.
But our economy is not going to recover so rapidly. Like, we are a very, very small economy in comparison to
very
just
much.
very, very small. And we've already been taking a beating for the past several years, 3 to 4 years.
Fisher
Fish rot is more recently, like even before, this fish rot was exposed. Let's say post Pohamba golden years.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start there. When Hage came in, he really came in with a declining economy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've been struggling. Now, if superpowers like Japan declare recession,
Bankruptcy.
they are going in recession. What do you think for small countries like Namibia?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. So yes, the health. Like let's not lie. Yes, the health of the people is important, but people still need to eat.
Yes.
People still need to be able to feed their families. It cannot just be like a complete stop. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm saying this. So we need to find a way where we control, because obviously we don't. Our health system cannot afford to have like such a heavy burden on it.
Yeah.
So we really need to like look at the risks, but also like all the risks, not just health, but also the economy and everything, and really try to strategize around that, because it would be, I think, very short-sighted to say, let's go back to a complete lockdown, close up your offices again.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's the solution either.
I think we are still trying to cling on to our old way of life, which as things look like now is this. Yeah, we're not going back there.
Yes.
Unless maybe we find a miracle vaccine sometime now. I don't think we're going to be able to go back to our old way of life. So we're going to have to figure out to somehow live with the virus without also putting people at too much risk.
Yes. And that's my thing. It's like everybody's here, like we've been buying time because we're hoping for a vaccine. But the truth of the matter is, maybe at some point we're just going to have to accept that this is our new reality.
Yeah.
COVID-19 is not going anywhere, and we need to, like, life has to continue with it. That means, yes, eventually let people travel, but even how we travel is like, probably like the flights have to be disinfected, like the air constantly, regularly. We all have to travel with masks and gloves, and it's just going to become a new reality. And when you catch it, you just hope it doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
Quite simply, or like, but a lot of people are also asymptomatic.
That's-
So,
Natural selection.
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Only the strong will survive.
And then we also have a situation where a Namibian-born gentleman based in the UK who also passed away this weekend, Mr. Abiud Wadewa, 56 years old. He's the first known Namibian that we know that passed on
From the coronavirus in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. I know there was some speculation that his body will be repatriated back to Namibia, but I think under current circumstances that won't happen.
Yeah.
So,
Condolences to
just
the family.
condolences to the family out there.
Friends and family, yes. One of the hot topics right now, Neville, is despite the state that South Africa is in, they decided to allow alcohol to be traded under certain,
Yeah,
still some rules and regulations surrounding it, not back to normal as usual. And of course, this begs the question. You Namibians who have been crying, June the 2nd or June the 3rd is just around the corner. So do you still think that we should follow that path? Thank you. Ons moet nog die bottelstores oopmaak.
I mean, everybody advocates for his or her own wants and needs. My mother wants the churches to open as soon as possible.
Yes.
like my
She
mother as
wants.
well.
So other people want bottle stores to open.
By the way, I saw an interesting, not interesting. It was kind of funny. It's a bit insensitive, but it was kind of funny. White people want businesses to open. Black people want churches and bars to open or bottle stores.
But that's what people were saying.
Yes.
Churches and bars are also business
Places.
so what are we talking about?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. But like, what do you think of the sale of alcohol? Do you think, like, I mean, look, things could still go back to sort of where we were like a week, 2 weeks ago, with no new infections, maybe the odd person coming in through the border. This case number 21 might not have spread the virus in the community. So then would we have that a valid argument basically in saying that we should reopen the bars and
This
the
guy
clubs?
was at OK Bazaar Gobabis. Me and Lazarus, we were in there last weekend.
That's
we
the-
went to OK Bazaar.
That's the
Gobabis.
11th stores. Last weekend was, what was the date? Wait, what's me
I
phone?
can't remember, but I mean, last weekend when we went to the farm, we were in Gobabis, and we went to OK Bazaar. We were in there.
Last weekend
Wat
is the
kyk jy vir my so maar?
So you went to Gobabis and you went to Walvis Bay. You're like just
That's why my
looking
lips
for
are
trouble. Just sook.
Hey,
And by,
I didn't go to the.
and by the
post
way, that I think that was the worst thing that could have possibly happened, is that people learned about this truck driver during the long weekend. It would have been better if they got that information before the long
Before the
weekend,
long
because a
weekend,
lot
yeah.
of them had coastal plans. They would have immediately cancelled. I know for a fact a lot of
Yeah,
people would have
yes.
cancelled. But
I
now
would
the
have
people
cancelled.
are like, we're in Wafish Bay. They get the news. I know people, no, I wouldn't really call them friends, people acquaintances, that were in the coast. And when the news came in on I think it was on Saturday,
Yeah.
on Sunday, they were back like on the trip was supposed to go till Monday. Sunday they were driving back.
Oh,
But the
buddy.
problem with driving back is when you get news of a COVID-19 in an area, usually you're supposed to stay put.
Yes.
Don't move, blader. No, people
Yeah.
were like packing their cars. Like, there was even guys like, yo, ek en my kinders en my vrou. Ons pak-
chip.
ons chip."
Pak die goed, ons gaan nou terug Windhoek toe.
Exactly. And they packed their cars and they started driving back. There was a lot of traffic. It should have been on Monday.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of traffic on the road on Sunday because people were just driving back from the coast. And we know half of Windhoek was in the coast this long weekend. So, and you know, people don't just do Kasi like, I mean, they don't just do Walfish Bay or the coast like staying in a hotel.
Kasi.
Nee, bietjie gaan chill daar in die Kasi.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I'm assuming, where the infection would be. If it's moving anywhere right now, it's in those areas. And those people are going to come back to Windhoek. And it's not just Windhoek people, it's people from all over the country that went to the coast for the long weekend. It's the worst if you think about how things are just messed up. Long weekend, potential community spread. The news comes in while most people had traveled to the coast where the infection is reported.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's winter.
Yep.
So this guy could be, as we said this morning, could be patient zero for Namibia.
But when it comes to community transmission, let's hope not.
And
You know,
that's
we don't want to
Yeah, I don't
preempt
wanna-
it too
yes, I
much.
don't wanna,
So let's hope not.
Yeah, let's just.
But that could really be the case.
But
yeah.
this is the first time that I've really, if I'm being honest, that I was really afraid.
Yes.
Like other cases, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, no, how could you live quarantine? La 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 la. But
This
it
one
was
also got me-
never
got me
that.
shook.
Yes, this one I was like, oh, we are beep up. We are
Yes. Yes, guys.
we are screwed.
Maria swears in her private time when she's not on Twitter.
this guy, he's going to be viewed in the same frame as all these fish rod guys. Because one thing that we say about these fish rod guys, these guys must not get bail. For their own safety, they must not
Get
come
bail, yeah.
back into
Speaking
the
of
community.
bail,
So,
Yes,
so
they gotta
yeah,
bail
let's
up.
go bail, Ricardo. So this truck driver, if his identity is revealed,
it never will be though.
ne?
never.
Namibia.
Look, it might move in the but it's not going to come from the ministry. It's not going to be anything official, and if it's not official,
he better check himself, because people can be crazy.
yeah. No,
Say,
people
Jay.
have been saying it.
Yeah.
Release his name. They're saying release his name so that they can see if they got into contact with him,
Yes.
which is a justifiable whatever. But there's also people that want to use that identity to take matters into their own
Yes.
hands.
We will go burn your house.
Why would you go get into contact with somebody with COVID-19 anyway? You're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah. It's insane. Of course, another burning issue. I've got burning issues this morning. A lot of them. They're just burning.
That's
You remember we closed schools when we had 2 cases from Windhoek Gymnasium.
No,
Now-
but there was no the two cases are not from Vintage
Yeah,
Gymnasium.
at
Please
Windhoek
clarify.
Gymnasium.
No, they were not.
Windhoek Gymnasium was involved somehow.
No,
Jesus.
yeah, but just be careful how you. Yeah.
Okay, disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by Cubase.
Yeah, but I remember the incident.
Yes.
No, this is the teacher's parents owned a bed and breakfast,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
tourists were staying there.
Yes.
So yeah, but then they closed. But there were no infections at
No,
the
but
school.
we closed the schools.
Yeah.
Now we have 21 cases and we are opening up the schools.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to get to. It is a burning issue. How is this going to work out? How is it going to work getting the kids, even if it's in phases, especially the seniors, obviously the grade 11s and 12s are a bit more mature. They can sort of follow
Guidelines.
the guidelines.
Kids are small ones are difficult.
But even them, it's like, how many of these young guys do you see walking around with masks? You see, like us, like our the bit older, we're always wearing masks, but like the younger guys, most of them are not. And sending them back to school.
But sometimes I also want you guys to stop undermining children. Do you know that you have a better chance of educating the younger ones on social distancing, how to act, and have them become like a system for them,
Yes.
right? Then you have the truck drivers, the older ones that are living quarantine. Like I can tell you right now, I'm actually less worried with a proper education. I'm actually less worried for the grade 1s and 2s and 3s and let's say up to 5. I would say I'm actually a little bit more concerned from the grade 7s going up, especially in high school, because it's like, yes, you know, but you don't really want to. You know, the smaller, the younger you are, the easier it is to be bent and molded. And if kids were like, you have to wear masks, you have to keep this distance, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and it becomes a lifestyle, those kids will grow up better than in this COVID-19, will adjust to it better than we are adjusting, because we had to live a different reality. So
they like, look, adjusting is, I'm sure, especially because they're much younger, it's much easier for them to take on this new realities, right? But it is going to take a while.
It is going to take a while.
These
Yes.
guys, most of them have not seen their friends in months,
Yes.
and for the first time they are let loose on that
Yeah.
school ground or whatever.
But they say stuff like, oh, cool stuff to shake with your feet. Shake with your understand?
Yeah, let's shake like
Yes,
because I
because-
got taught how to shake. Let's shake.
Yes.
Now, you can have my lollipop.
No, not shake like that. Shake like that. That's what
No, that's what I'm saying. We
Yes.
can. They will do those things
Yeah.
because you teach them. You know, when you cough, do
No.
this. When you.
Well,
but
you're
then
gonna
all-
teach them about the lollipop.
But then
as
all the
well.
regulars is like, oh my, okay, come, let me break a piece off. That's just kids. You cannot stop it. Of
I-
drink by the kran.
I understand, but you make it taboo, then it's fine. Like, look, you are very correct. It will take time, but what I'm trying to say, if we are talking about this is our reality, our school's gonna be closed for the next 5 years, but nonsense most known it in COVID-19
jaar.
times.
Yeah.
They close it for the year.
Yeah. And then what? Next year,
Next-
we're not gonna have 21 cases. We're potentially gonna have hundreds of cases next year.
Next year we will have Madagascar's medicine.
What one day?
I'm just saying the numbers will
Let's
keep
get
rising.
Madagascar medicine.
Yeah, the cases are not going to decline. They're going to keep increasing because the border as is closed. We're still importing a lot of our stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always, and unfortunately, we import from South Africa, which is the most affected country in Africa. So the numbers are not gonna decline. At some point, we have to say, okay, this is a reality, but how do we move forward?
Yes. No, our number is going to climb. Maybe gradually, maybe rapidly, like it sort of showed us it could do over the past week or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, let me read comments, guys. We haven't really been reading comments today. Bradley Kubisep, your comment just disappeared. But Iman Anders is on there. There's like 87 comments that I have to get through. Neville the Beard Man. Lucia Shiveda saying, stupid when I read people says lockdown Erongo, but they was here from north, south, east and west and go back. How sure are you that you didn't take it with you?
Yeah.
And trucks come all the way from South Africa, etc. and stops at services for help. Let's lock down all regions. Right? Sporo Mangena, the coast is not for me after the truck driver disappeared from the isolation. Bette in Jiharinje, Mr. Basson sal walvis by weer toegemaak word. Never. I don't know.
We all were waiting for that question to be answered.
Maximus Instigator Holy Boy. Someone tell Maria that we are counting down to the next Valentine. Anyway, Namibians should learn to disseminate factful information.
I'll even have a red mask ready with hearts on it.
You guys.
Because we know we're not living this COVID-19.
Ay, Marianne.
David Valomboleni Kamulu, good morning crew. 155 TJH employees to take voluntary retrenchment packages from Nampa. Hope you guys are not included in this. No, we are not. Joel Dashing Joe. Nambuli. The truck stories is serious. That's the loophole for Namibia. These guys are spreading it countrywide since they are stopping everywhere on their way. That's like, I thought it would be logical for them to travel with some sort of police escort or something. Shavi Gilifilwa. You're the reason why I listen to the radio.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Ephraim Shilongo. Moo Neville. It happens a lot of time, not even in radio, but police, health, or kitchen. Never mix business with pleasure. You will be accused of rape, an artificial one.
But you know, sometimes I see the movies. There's this scene where they like clean the table like this.
And you just want to role play that scene.
Check it.
Come on, Maria walks into the office like, I want to role play on that table.
Yeah.
You know, the boss just grabs you and he just cleans the table with his hand. Don't you?
I'm not taking part in this conversation, guys. I'm gonna sit this one out.
You've never cleared the table.
He doesn't have a table. Let's start there.
Yes. Yeah, no, I don't have a desk. I just sit
Wherever
at
he
the
can put
reception.
it.
Come on, all of us. Somewhere in your life, you probably had to clear a table, or you had to move the left front seat of your car.
No, you have a better chance of moving the car than the table. Vise tafel, are you going to move Dr. Quentin Van Rooyen's table with his computers? And you don't even have a standalone office. You know, you have to have a private office as well.
Yes, and we have that open
no
plan
private
thing
offices
here.
here, trust
private
me.
And I'm always sitting right underneath the camera, so
I've been to a few government offices, guys. Here at Government Office Park. You have guys there, clerks, doesn't matter. These guys all have their own offices.
office,
Then you
yes.
think,
And
oh,
there's-
what's happening in there?
There's no see-through from anybody walking down
Yes,
the corridor.
yes, yes.
You can just go in there and... What's that?
Julle is toch net onnodig, julle.
Ozala.
Tate Big Ben, good morning, welcome to the morning mix. Frans van Wyk, people, help me out here. Since they started with taking temperatures at some shops, mine always stays at 36.1. I asked other people also, and theirs are also on 36.1. Please explain, maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe the machine is broken, but the ones I take my temperature every morning when I come to the office, and it's
Anything under
normally
37.
different. Yeah.
And anything under 37, I think.
No, but he's saying his is always 36 point. Maybe
I think 36.6 is also the default. You know, for broken one, that is the default number.
I was 36 now.
I was 33.
who was telling
but
me they were at the roadblock,
you
and
are
then
dead,
the machine, that thing that they
yeah.
are busy doing, it started speaking Chinese. You know these Chinese toys.
it could be warning you that you don't even know it.
Nico Karuchap saying, Bradley Kubisep, now you can get a full paid quarantine in a hotel. Right, I didn't get Bradley's comment earlier on. It jumped out of the screen before I could get to it. Tadenawanes says, Q Neville is busy with his lunch conversations that he used to have with Max and Jala. Invite him already. And Jala, yes. Have you heard this guy sitting there, the owner, by the smoking spot?
I don't.
Maria. Those conversations there.
How is he Masquatiki? It's him and Jala and like two other girls that are always. The one is from IT, and there's another one.
Momo.
And let's altyd daar squat.
Hy is kwaad. Daar word net twak gepraat daar soos jy daar gaan.
Can we continue with the show, please?
Colin Walter McLeod is never good at talking Oshiherero. Not really. I do not endorse his Oshiherero speaking.
Oshikop in Doha.
Yeah. Eko bindohando. Vivian Karnal toe gaan die comment, wil ek nog probeer jou naam lees. Okay, let me do this. Let me just move down to the bottom and then we do it this way. Last person to join the show, Mr. Shaks Tiofe Nanyemba. Shafi Ngilifilwa. It may not be feasible because of financial constraints. Otherwise, I would suggest a lockdown of all the regions and begin to test everyone for COVID-19. You know, we have actually stopped talking about testing. We've just completely it's like we gave up.
What is happening with Sharks today?
Ek worry nie.
But yeah, did you say anything wrong in the last couple of days?
What do you mean? What's wrong with him?
Because he's not saying anything this morning.
Yeah, shame. He also used to say other things. It's just
Ek vra net. Mag ek nie iets vra nie, man? Mag ek nie vir julle iets vra nie? I'm just asking. Sharks, are you okay, my brother? I'm just asking.
You see,
Friend.
George, I'm trying to get to the comments. My demons is in the studio and they're unruly. They're like
Tuesday.
They are like AR members, unruly. Morning, my guy. Welcome to the show. He's saying, "Hey, scroll up. I'm gonna get to your comment. I promise." Abby Top. I think the movie, it's not 2003 but 2010, called Corona. There's a movie called Corona. I'll go check it out. Was is Bianca Katleho Dax kan Neville die Macy afhaal. Die Macy or nie die Macy nie.
Dis koud.
Apparently, he didn't call me his blesscop this morning. Ephraim Shilongo, 36 is a normal body temperature. Above 37 is above normal. I think that's what I remember from my doctor's visits.
That's what I said.
Yeah. John Shombet at the Nevela, you were in Swakop for the long weekend, Dishi.
I
Simon.
was here in Windhoek I was hosting my live stream show with America in Canada from the comfort of our house in Windhoek.
Now, but you said you're going to put in leave so you can go to the coast. So what you told
He
me.
lied.
Yeah, I know.
Wednesday.
And then I changed my mind.
You were funging.
No.
Then why didn't you come to work if you were in Windhoek?
Nee, ek het mos
Die Vrydag, hoekom het jy nie gekom?
ek het mos lief gevat.
And the
I was
Lekker.
on legal leave.
You know what else happened on Friday that we're not talking about? Die bail application.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, there's a huge bail application. I can't believe that you guys wanted to close off without.
We almost
mentioning.
skipped. No, I was going to get to we're going to be here until 10 o'clock this morning. Because we skipped a day.
Kom maar sta.
Yeah.
Praat asseblief.
Hold on before we get to Mr. Gustavo. Come us, let's acknowledge those guys who are spending their hard-earned data to join the show this morning. Do you guys know there was a movie of COVID-19 in 2003? All right, that was the comment. Top Cherry joining the show. Also, Philip Klein-Smith. Pedro Mweshipopia. Right, the names were revealed in a newspaper prior to the results being known by the media when quarantine rules were breached.
So you can just go back to those old story.
Yeah.
Or initially when they left probably the facility.
Yep. So go buy an old newspaper. Sporo Mangena. We forgot that the owners of the bars need to feed their families and remember how long the businesses were closed. There are people working at the bars, bottle stores and breweries. Don't they need their salaries in full for once? Yes, that is understandable. Are you going to be responsible with your drinking? Maria Kamati, in my own opinion, I think it's better to put a strict rules for whoever is going to obey quarantine days to be given a punishment to avoid the spreading of COVID-19. I think I get what you're trying to say. Sina Lumbo. Sina what? Sina something? At least I am in Katima. Not you guys. Hey, Corona does not discriminate. Tell Neville to cut the Bart.
I lost off my Bart, man.
Yeah.
Stop.
Kanjego said, man, young ones, you can't give them masks. They can't even come back with shoes from school. Do you think they will even put masks on?
School jersey.
Boy. He comes back with one shoe. It's like, how did that happen? It's like, I don't
Very
know.
true. Maria, my daughter was in Karatura this weekend. She was at my mom's since Friday.
Was it her first time in Gatutura?
No. I'm just trying to, in the context of COVID-19, that's
Yes.
why I'm saying it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're giving her a mask. Say, listen, jy gaan Karatura toe, ne? Tell Oma, and I told Oma that you need to wear this mask wherever you are moving. Now, obviously, jy ken mos daar by die groot winkels.
Yes.
They moving up
Up
and
and
down.
down. Oor die straat terug.
Oor
Oor
die
die straat
straat gaan koop ys, go buy chips there, po hoekie,
Yeah.
come back, what.
Yes.
She came back yesterday without her mask.
It's like, where's your mask?
Where's your mask?
Ah.
Hey, Daddy,
I think I left it. Daddy, I don't know.
yeah.
Yes.
My daughter
So
gets
then-
excited to wear the mask for now. She's right.
Like for me, this morning, right, was the first time I didn't even attempt to take off my mask when I was in the cab. After case number 21, I am not playing around. Guys, I don't like, and now I can't stop touching my face that I'm sitting in the studio. I'm so disappointed in me. Okay. George Dipohamba Kambala. Neville, what is the going price now? The other gender is busy blowing up my phone.
George, going price for what now?
Hey, Kenny?
Oh, we don't.
Only you and George will know. George, come back with another comment. Hit us up. Yeah.
What are you talking about, George?
Simon Amushira, yes, you guys are now in cold.
Yeah.
Schools
cold.
should remain closed. Okay. Knuckles Ferris, what is the handle? Through that, Maria, yes, you guys are now in cold. Kanjeho Zedman sent. Okay. I'm afraid to send my daughter to school. Seriously, I think she can't go to school this year. Are you prepared for her to lose a school year?
Golo Kante also decided he's not going to play for Chelsea for the rest of the year.
There's a lot of so it's like the professional footballers are like, I'm not going to put my family at risk. Like I remember there was the one guy who was I can't remember who it was, but he is like a infant who also is has a problematic chest.
Yeah.
And he also decided, I'm not going to put my child at risk. I'm not going to come play.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You can't provide a completely safe environment for me to come work in. I'm not going to come to work.
Court, julle wil net praat tot woel. Can we get to the court?
Ay, Maria, ons vergeet toch. We forgot.
Neville brought it up and you forgot.
Yes.
And then you went on about other things. And then I brought it up. Ons al wag, and then you're going on about other things.
Okay,
Why do you also just want to talk about fish?
It's a very important.
It's her favorite. It's a
very
topic.
important. It's not my favorite. It's our listeners' favorite topic.
We're asking.
But also,
Maria is your
it's
favorite.
our
Trust me.
listen. You know what? Ek wil nie weer oor fish short praat nie. Ek maak vir julle na en julle gaan aan. Nee, it's alright.
Don't catch, Maria.
I'm
Come
catching.
on.
Big time. Sharp. Kos praat oor soccer. Yeah, let's talk about what with the person with the chest. Wag.
Kom ek en jy praat oor fish rod.
Wag. What?
Me, I don't have the information. Maria is the one who's supposed to give it to us.
Don't you ever forget it.
I'm not talking to you. You know what happened on Friday? Cubase. May bra. Okay. If there's now one guy among the fish rod 6 that I was very close to, I think through school years and through our youth was Ricardo Gustavo.
Not at the mic.
No, not.
That the mic just paid you.
Okay.
So I'll be very biased when I say this today. Now, if there's one guy that I have a lot of sympathy for, and maybe it's sympathy that's unwarranted, but it's Ricardo. And Ricardo, I've always known Ricardo as a very straight up guy, a guy who always did the right thing at school, did the right thing in society, and when I saw that Ricardo was implicated in this fish rod saga, my heart had gesak nie, bro. So for me to see him in court on Friday during his bail application, yes, he said what he said, that he's been financially crippled by this, and he would like to, through his bail application, he wants to clear his name, etc., etc., etc. Then obviously from the state side, the state said, nee, maar my broer, you paid $3 million cash to a contractor to build your house on the outskirts of the north. No, the
Finkenstein is okay. You can say it.
Okay, Maria says at Finkenstein.
At this point, we're gonna have to start investigating all the houses at Finkenstein.
Yeah.
This is like it's where everybody is going.
Nee.
I will not worry.
So as a result, I don't know. So I don't know if it's still going to continue today. So Maria,
you should have
even
just
though
let
you
Maria
don't want
talk
to talk
to
about
begin with.
fish rod, we need to ask your journalistic opinion here. What do you think? And it's your job now, okay? So you can not get your feelings here.
Cubase, you're talking about a soccer player.
Come on.
Maria, you try by hard, nee. It's not working. Okay, stop your nonsense, Maria. Please give us your.
So like wait, let me just get just a bit of a refresher course. He was on the fringes, right? He was not one of the key players. He was one of the key players, but not one of the guys who were planning the whole thing or I can't remember the story anymore. It's so long ago now. It's a te veel coronavirus.
Ricardo has gesê doen jy so. Klaar.
Okay.
James het vir Ricardo gesê maak so.
This is what you are going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
O story anje.
Hard. Maria
is trying to bite a lip here.
You know what, George? George, you are absolutely correct. That's why she's not talking. Because George is saying, but is Maria not conflicted?
Never conflicted. I done brought up the topic.
Lost story girl 8 man. Jasmine Holmes, Maria is savage. I love her.
Yeah, she's.
Lucia Shivede, Neville, there was millions in his account, and also he wants 100,000 bail, something fishy.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just very subjective when it comes to Ricardo. That's my issue here. Because he's a friend.
Robbie Jipanga is saying Ricardo is going to snitch. I guess that is the one thing that everybody is thinking about.
Ricardo will pimp ka.
Yes. This guy hy het gebesluit, weet jy wat? This ain't the life for me. I need to go back to my house in Finkenstein.
Okay, Matumuina number no.
Maria is not good at talk.
I was conflicted.
I did say. I'm gonna read all the Maria messages here. Your
Okay, let me quickly give up. Okay, so Gustavo, fifth accused in the Fishrod 6. His involvement is because he was the sole, I think, on the documents of Namagama Peshka. He, I think, is the only director. Now we now know that this is the company that went in with the deal with
Sameri.
With Angolan government.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but yeah, with Sameri obviously also somewhere featuring there. But he was the only director, and obviously money was channeled through this company. The state has put that on record. He obviously wants bail. I think if somebody has a good chance of getting it, would have been accused number 5 and 6, which is himself and Taxa, the 6th accused. Because yes, while they were involved, they were perhaps not as involved as the other 4. Okay. Now, interestingly, obviously, Ricardo was working under James Atwikulipi at Investec, so he was one of the managers. They have a child, the childhood friends, come way back. I think for people that know Ricardo, and this is where it comes in, is like it was perhaps most unexpected with him. I mean, the others maybe you were not as surprised, but with Ricardo, just because of, I know he's like usually he's a real Christian guy, comes from a really good family, just very upstanding members of society, seem to be very principled. Even when you talk to him, he always seemed to take a principled position on issues, very, for lack of a God-fearing man, because he's the type that prays, before meals, constantly, preaching the word of God. He comes from a real Christian background, and like I said, very, very good family, I would say. So obviously his involvement, everybody is looked at James and said, this doesn't have Ricardo written, this has James written all over it, because of the close association. But still, fast forward, we need this accountability element in it. Like your hand cannot be.
Your hand was in the cookie jar. You got cookie.
Yeah, yes, exactly, and you benefited in the sense that apparently some of this money was then used to build your own house at Finkenstein and so forth for 3 million and so forth. At some point, as much as you want to vouch for him and his character and all that, there is that element of, well, it's not just money that was channeled. It's not like you signed a document and money was channeled and you didn't benefit in any way. Like there was still money that you benefited from, and you couldn't have been completely oblivious. Maybe you don't know all the details that are going happening, but you can't completely then plead ignorance when it suits you. But yes, I understand why some people like. In fact, for me also personally, in that group, he's probably the one that I like the most. Okay, as a person.
Not the other one.
Yeah. The other one is like all other exes. Anyway, we don't care. And it's been 4 years. Anyway,
4 years.
It's been 4 years, yeah. And but going back to the court case, he obviously so your bail application, which is continuing, but in his bail application he stated some important things. So he's lost he can, if his family and friends put money together, he can come up with $100,000 bail. That's how much he's willing to pay for bail. He can't really do more than that because he doesn't have an income coming in. He spoke about he's got 5 children, the youngest being 3, the oldest being 23. The 23-year-old is in a university in South Africa. The youngest, obviously toddler, 3 years old. And he's saying all these kids depend on him. And then he's got an ex-wife that he said also depend. I don't know why an ex-wife would depend on him, but anyway.
Alimony.
Yes, like Volox would throw you.
I want all your money.
Jy wil mos nie trou nie.
As that's true. I don't want to.
She had thrown, you would have been a prison.
Woo! My dear, the scandal. Anyway. I wouldn't have recovered, guys. Oh, there's a God. Anyway. Sure. Anyway, but back to the serious issues. And so he's saying that his parents are elderly. They care. They rely. They depend on him. His 5 children depend on him. His ex-wife depends on him. He just wants to get bail, so that he can come and try and make money because he doesn't currently have all his obviously accounts have been frozen and he doesn't have money coming in, and he just wants to be given that chance to kind of support his family. And obviously spoke about that he's not going to abscond because it's very important to him that he clears his name. In fact, he said he was on his way to the coast when he got the call that he needs to turn himself in, and he turned the car around even though he was closer to the coast than he was to Windhoek. And he did the upstanding thing to do as a civil what do you call it?
Civil.
It's a citizen duty. Law-abiding citizen, yes. So that's what he's arguing. He obviously wants to be released. I think if anybody has a good chance of getting that bail, it would have either been him or accused number 6, which are implicated but not as severe as the other 5. No, because it's not just 5. You need to remember that Mike is also now in there. So it's actually Fisher 7, I would say, with that case now. So I think the other 5 are more implicated than number 5 and 6, which is Ricardo and himself. But we'll see. I don't actually think most people seem to see this as an issue of turning.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is the Minister of Fisheries.
Is he number 1?
He's number 1.
Saki's number 1.
Number 2?
Number 2 is Saki. Number 3 is James. Number 4 is Fiti. Number 5 is Ricardo. Number 6 is Taxa, and then number 7 is Mike. There's obviously these other ones that were arrested on the side, but these are not related to the money issue. These other ones are for, like
breaking
breaking, yes, trying to bribe officers. So we're not talking about those. I'm talking about the main 7. But yes, so I think if anybody has a good chance, it's him. But a lot of people are also speculating that it's they're turning on each other. I don't necessarily think it. I think they sent out the soldier with the best chance of getting that. And obviously, if Ricardo gets that bail, that increases
the chance of the others
chances
also
of
getting
them.
bail.
Yeah, they will also go for it.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
If he's denied bail, for sure they're not even going to try because then they know for a fact. If the best candidate cannot get that bail, if Ricardo cannot secure that bail,
then nobody else.
Nobody else can. So I don't necessarily see this as a split. And this is what most people are saying. Are they turning each other? I don't think these guys are turning on each other. Let's just be very clear. Not yet, anyway. It might eventually happen, but not yet.
You guys obviously are more familiar with the whole gang than I am, right? Or know them a bit better than I do. If they were to turn on each other, who do you think would be the first one to fall? I've got my money on Esau.
Let me just say, Marianne, I'll give you a scenario here. I don't know if you've done athletics at school.
Athletic.
Okay. I would normally take part in the 800 meters. And this has happened a few times. We would start off, before the race, we would start off and say, okay guys, we are friends. Okay? We don't want this issue because you see, we can't compete against each other. It's not nice. Okay, but so when we run this race, we stay in one pack. Okay? And then we can decide maybe the last 50 meters who will be
Who'll
the
take the
first
lead,
one.
yeah.
Maria, and then the race starts. This happened many a times in my life. Now, I wasn't the fastest guy at school.
Clearly.
I was a good relay
You're
runner.
still not the fastest.
Yeah, not the fastest. Maria, if that gun goes off,
You forget that pact.
You forget the back.
Man of sy eie.
Man in sy pan. The guys are sprinting left, right, and center. By the end of the race, I remember. So kom staan jy.
Let's say Owens.
No, wat jy gemaak.
Ek het gedink is die man.
Hoe is het eerste gedodge? Now I see this thing, and we can say whatever it is that we want to say. Because I was really wondering, why would Ricardo be the sole applicant in terms of bail here? I think in the past, all the other guys made a joint bail application. I'm speaking under correction.
Yes.
It's the first time that I see the
They've never gone for bail application.
who?
Them.
Them.
Yeah, they've never.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a bail
No, there was never application. You remember there was the South African guys where we thought they were going to put a bail application for when the arrest
yes.
happened. So there was never a bail application. This is the first bail application of the
I
fish
see,
rod.
yes.
Yes. So it's the first time. But like I said, you're not gonna look. It's very smart to kind of go solo now, because of how intricate it is. At some point, you have to turn on each other to save yourself. This is how I see it. You can't. Yeah, it's not really gonna work.
Either I
So
sink
even
with the ship
if-
or I'd get myself a lifeboat.
if-
and
even the legal minds that look at this are just like, you guys cannot come as a block. You need to. You both need everybody needs
you weaken each
representation.
other's chances when
Yes,
you come
exactly.
as a group.
It should be man of say.
Yes.
Now you say who's going to bow first? I actually think the group I think protects Esau the most. This is my impression, just because he's older. This is for him, and also because like I said, I know Esau was involved, but I don't really think he understands to what degree. Because you know what, it's Toppy's, like Toppy Sugnet a Rolex and a dual SIM card. I don't really think he understands.
Rolex and a dual SIM card.
You know-
Bring that up.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think he understood like the implication to that level. They're not really savvy like that. They top his most.
Kyk Irene.
Shines.
Yeah.
He's
So
like, "Ay, maak julle klaar."
Hey, Jemuni, you don't have to go that side anymore. Why are you in a hurry? Where
There
do you
was
want to go?
no, but we're not going to talk about the speculations. But
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes,
But
we've been
yes.
speculating. Everybody's been speculating. Iemand sal iemand gaan pimp.
Yes.
Saki will probably be.
From the information that I got,
You saw him in the interview with Al Jazeera. He says, I don't manage my James Hatukulipi.
quickly.
Oh,
Well, from the information that I got from an unreliable source, no, a reliable source, but it's unreliable information. Somebody was not happy with their cut. You see, when the information came out, this person looked around and realized, hey, but everybody was getting so much. I only got this much. He decided, me, I also want
The
to.
word is, and we heard the story. The word is that someone,
of the seven now.
yes, only got 30 million.
Only.
Yes, and he's not
30
happy.
million only.
Not happy
And
at
he's
all.
not happy.
Maar Owen so Gillette guy.
Owen het. Ek het net 30 miljoen gekry.
Jerry
En you
Sam,
guys,
sit.
Sat man, ek gaan pimp. So we are not at liberty to say this on air. Who is that one? We will say it off air. What the speculation is. So and Shines was even saying that
Net
these guys are
30.
making so much money that only 30 million is a problem.
As you know, he's saying, give Ricardo bail in exchange for snitching. Cubase, I think if they have to be on each other's necks, Saki, Sayo Pim. Hey, bro, Saki, it seems like people feel like Saki is going to be the
But
first
you know
one.
why is everybody... I'm looking at it. If I look at the seven, I'm like, everybody's kind of attached to James Hatukulipi. Think about it. Saki is his best friend. Esau is the father-in-law of his cousin. No? Fiti is his first cousin. Taxa is his, I think, second cousin. Yeah. He appointed Mike as CEO. Mike used to work with so what? And Ricardo used to work under him. Like, that is the one key, central figure around him.
Mastermind.
Like if I look at Saki, I mean, yes, James is his best friend. Esau maybe fellow minister, but how is Ricardo attached to him, or how's Taxa, or not really?
Maria,
That Ian, James is like everybody is linked. Nice
Yes.
to
Hulle moet
him.
net vir Ricardo los asseblief. Hulle moet my bra los asseblief.
Hoeveel het hy vir jou gegee?
Nee.
Shines.
My kids were asking me the same thing again last night. Daddy, my friend saw our car. He saw
Yeah.
my personal. Daddy, my friend saw our car and was like, Kano, is your daddy not in Fish Rock? He can't be driving a car like that, making jokes. It's impossible to drive a car like that out of jokes. And I said, listen,
I got funny money.
because I know your dad moves in political circles. He must be in Fish Rock. I said, you can tell your friend
That's
that
his
car,
Sakohuti.
ne? I acquired that car out of being funny. Really. It's funny money. That's it. So that's my final contribution.
Speaking of your boys, didn't they steal one of the cars this weekend? There were boys in Ocho who ran over one of the fuel pumps. No, it's Danny petrol for mense om uit te ry nie. Everybody's stuck in bloody Ocho.
So Maria, asseblief, can you please confirm that me, maybe Lazarus is part of Fish Rock, not me.
Why do you keep throwing Laz under the bus?
Hey, exactly. If it was
Lazarus,
me and
how's
Laz-
this your best friend?
Excalibur, I'm telling him now. If me and Laz were in Fish Rock,
I just want to say fish rot is not sexually transmitted. So ek is ook 'n deel van dit.
Okay, that is it. We're gonna retire this mic. Nothing is gonna be said on this microphone again. It's klaar. Opuo tomana. Alright, you guys enjoy the rest of the Tuesday. I can't. And don't forget, Dirkas is coming up between 12 and 1 on the hour. That's going to be streaming on Informante Radio's Facebook page. It's great to be here every morning. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You are listening to Informante Radio.